Good morning. Thank you for being here today. I'd like to thank Commissioner Kevin Ruane, Commissioner Cecil Pendergrass, our school superintendent, Dr. Christopher Bernier, and representatives of Lee County Sheriff's Office School Threat Enforcement Team and the Youth Service Division for standing with me today as one team. School safety is my #1 priority. The great residents of Lee County demand that we make certain their children and loved ones go to school and they return home safely. This is a huge responsibility for me and my family. This responsibility hits home for many of us too. My deputies also have children and loved ones that attend the Lee County schools. With school starting this Thursday, we're here to talk about what we have done to prepare and be ready. My Youth Service Division dedicates themselves to being professionals. They are the best of the best and award-winning. I'm incredibly proud to announce that our Youth Service Division won the 2023 Florida Association of School Resource Officers Agency of the Year Award. This is the second time they've been honored with this award. This award is presented annually to an agency that has made an impact in training, professional development, and making schools and communities a safer place. Every agency in the state was eligible for this award. This is an amazing honor for my team. A team that trained 7 times the state requirement and has been training all summer. Our active shooter training is nonstop. Thanks to our partnership with Dr. Bernier and the entire Lee County School District, we are able to train in the schools. This intense training puts SROs in an incredibly stressful scenario where they train through the chaos. We have dedicated a virtual reality trailer to travel all around the county year-round to the SROs so they can train at their schools. Our Schools Threat Enforcement Team, or STET, has continued their work throughout the entire summer, monitoring and scanning social media for threats. These dedicated STET detectives spent the summer traveling to schools and evaluating their security measures. Our deputies have key fobs for every door and map of every single school. We will respond immediately and without delay because seconds matter. STET has completed hundreds of follow-up investigations, in-home visits to ensure nothing falls through the cracks. Last year, STET detectives with school resource officers collectively worked 583 threats investigations. This past summer, in partnership with Lee County School District, we've expanded our safety and response even more. I'm extremely proud of our training division for completing our first class in the Guardian program. Our training division used experts from across the agency to deliver the best level of knowledge and experience. The Guardians that graduated this program had to complete over 160 hours of extensive training. Their in-depth and hands-on training included firearms, de-escalation, and tactical medical training. My trainers set an incredibly high standard for these Guardians to pass. The Guardians are committed to the safety in our schools and train alongside my deputies. And let me remind you, they are not replacing school resource officers. They are an extra layer in our ability to respond to all threats. It takes a lot to bring all these resources together. It takes people, the latest and greatest technology, and commitment. We are fortunate to have an unwavering support from our county commissioners. I want to personally thank them all. Commissioner Wayne, Commissioner Pendergrass, thank you for trusting in my work and my family members. You invested completely in our children's safety. While other parts of the country cut funding, here in Lee County, they stand with us, and their leadership supports keeping Lee County safe. They know you can't put a price on a child's life. A true key to our success is the incredible partnership with the school superintendent, Dr. Christopher Bernier. He understands that safety of your children is our primary goal. Nowhere else have I seen a school district dedicated to the teamwork like we have. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Bernier for a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sheriff Marceno, for your unwavering support, both for our students and for our staff. The partnership we have here is vital to the safety and security of our schools. I'd also like to congratulate you on your award, recognizing your group as the best group of school resource officers in the state. Whenever I enter a school, I take a moment to visit and see, shake hands. They are amazing, absolutely amazing, committed professionals. It's something we've known how great your team is, for we've known it for a long time, and now the entire state knows it as well. I'm also extremely grateful for the relationship we have with our law enforcement partners in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Sanibel. Together, we have all committed to protecting our students and our staff. The district is taking at least 2 additional steps this year to provide additional safety on our campuses. First, we have the addition of Open Gate. This is a weapons detection system which will be in place at 16 of our schools on this Thursday and every school by the end of the year. This will help us prevent weapons and other contraband materials from coming onto campus. Second, as the sheriff mentioned, we have our first group of guardians in our schools. Armed and in uniform, they will be a force multiplier and an aid to law enforcement response if our campuses are ever threatened. While we have a great relationship with our law enforcement partners and these additional measures, we still need the help of our students and our parents. If we see something, we have to say something. We have to have those conversations at home before students come to school. We have to make sure that we're telling our students every day they have a responsibility to tell an SRO, to tell a teacher, the administration, use the Fortify Florida app. But if you see something, you have to say something, tell somebody, and help make our schools as safe as it can be. After all, it takes all of us, the district, our law enforcement families, and all of our families at home, supporting our students and protecting our schools. Another key message for this year, especially with school coming this Thursday, is to remember I want our students to walk safe and ride safe, and I want our community to drive safe. Our students need to be careful when walking or riding their bikes to and from school. Our community also needs to be aware that our students will be out there, about 100,000 strong, and they need to be aware of them and make sure you operate your vehicles safely around our students and our buses. Again, this effort seeks to protect everyone. We are excited about the promise of the year ahead. We can't wait to get our students back in school, and we look forward to a very safe school year. Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Dr. Bernier. We will continue to build relationships with our youth, but their safety is a team effort with everyone at home and in the schools. Parents and guardians, have those difficult talks with your children. Tell them zero tolerance is zero tolerance. Your accountability is paramount. They need to know the power and the consequences of social media. We take all and every threat seriously. We cannot afford to treat them any other way. I commit every available resource because it's what's needed. I also want to invite now Commissioner Kevin Ruane to say a few words. Commissioner.
Thank you, Sheriff. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, Sheriff Marceno, Dr. Bernier, for the forward thinking and the progressive thinking to always be ahead of the curve, trying to make sure our students are safe. School safety is obviously the #1 priority, and happy to be here as part of this team to try to do everything we can to make sure our schools open up safely, and we obviously have a great school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'd like to thank Commissioner Ruane and the other county commissioners. Commissioner Pendergrass to say a few words, too.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Again, thank you again, and thank you to the Lee County Sheriff's Department's team. And congratulations on your award and being recognized for all your work all throughout the year. Next year will make my 40th year, celebrate my career in law enforcement now as a county commissioner. And I will tell you, I am honored as a county commissioner now to support and continue funding the Sheriff's Department. We see the results of it now. We're protecting our students, our teachers, and our faculty. And it's the most important thing to Lee County and to my office is to continue our support for law enforcement and to protecting our teachers and our students here in Lee County. So thank you.
Thank you. We are excited for the great things this new school year brings, and we hope that none of our extensive preparations are ever needed. But our view is to over-prepare for every emergency possible, every hurricane, and keeping your child safe. We are here to support learning and all the great and positive fun things that children want to do to school and in school, and we stand ready. I want to also say thank you again, because again, without the tools from our great county commissioners, we couldn't do what we do. Without the partnerships, without Dr. Bernier's vision and his administration, we are all like-minded here with the same goal, And that's when we work the best. There is no I in team. I can't thank this team. This team sets the standard for the entire state of Florida. We'll take some questions.
Both Sheriff Marceno and Dr. Bernier, why did you guys decide to have guardians visible?
Well, I'll say a couple words and Dr. Bernier can speak. Guardians Visible, I want all hands on deck. When it comes to safety and law and order, you can never be too safe, you can never be too proactive, you can never plan for everything, but we will. The Guardians are an added extra layer. They're very, very quickly identified. They're going to be wearing a uniform that's very, very, I mean, as soon as you walk on that campus, no matter who you are, you will recognize they're a Guardian. They're enhanced layer of security, another set of eyes and ears to help us on our mission. We want people to walk onto our schools to be welcome, to feel welcome. We want our school resource officers and our Guardians to welcome kids, to hug kids, to be mentors. But we know, everywhere USA, you have to be ready for anything. And in our schools, we are ready for anything that comes our way, and we will take care of business without hesitation. 100,000 kids plus go to school here in Lee County. That's 100,000 book bags we pray books are in. That's 100,000 parents and guardians that think and believe and trust in their law enforcement team and their school administration, their county, that when their child walks to the bus stop or gets to school, that that child's coming home. And this team will make certain of it. Dr. Bernier?
First of all, I would like to thank our school board. They don't get enough credit for passing the resolution that allowed us to move forward with the Guardian program and under the sheriff's support. Specifically as to the Guardian's visibility, I don't have much to add to what the sheriff said other than this. In the case of an active shooter, when law enforcement arrives, what are they looking for? They're looking for an individual wandering around with a gun. If that Guardian is not identified, that Guardian potentially becomes a target. And we chose uniforms so our community would know, our students would know, and when law enforcement responds, the law enforcement will know as well.
I want those parents, I want parents to drop their child off, or when their child goes to school, that when someone goes into a school building, they see law enforcement present, they see a Guardian. Because great people, and this whole county's filled with amazing great people are happy to see that law enforcement presence. If somebody's going to do something wrong, they know not in Lee County, Florida. We meet deadly force with deadly force immediately. We will make certain that our great and amazing teachers and staff and children come home safely. That's most important.
So if they're going to be easily identifiable for anyone on the campus, do we know their names? Is the community going to be able to know their names?
Of course. I mean, they are going to be introduced. They are part of the staff. They train with my family members. We train together. We work together. I want the Guardians to be part of this family, and they will engage with the children. They will know who belongs where. They will be an added extra. Basically, just like an SRO, they're going to work in sync together. So yes, that's very important. It's that trust and rapport. It's, again, see it, say it, make the call. It's all that coming together.
How many graduated and how many are going to be in the schools?
So the graduating class actually went down. I believe we have 6.
6 for Lee County.
Yeah, so I believe we have 6 that graduated. And let me tell you, this is no easy task. There was a lot of controversy. And again, I want to thank the school board too as well, because they gave us the tools. They voted to help us put this program in place. But we don't just hand somebody a uniform and say, congratulations, you're now a Guardian, okay? It doesn't work that way. They go through 160 plus hours of intense training, firearms training, medical training. They go through a medical, physical background, everything a law enforcement officer goes through. So when you see that Guardian wasn't just handed a uniform and said, hey, go. That Guardian's gone through everything imaginable, and they're there because they've earned it. They've earned it, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud that they stepped up to help this team.
How will you divide the 6 Guardians who graduated between all of our schools?
Well, you know what? We train the Guardian, but I'm going to have Dr. Bernier speak on that.
The individuals who came to the Guardian program are faculty members, so they're already known within the school building. They already have a relationship. Those individuals who are trained and successfully completed will return back to the school from where they volunteered.
So some schools will be missing guardians?
We never expected, and I've let the sheriff speak on this, we would have never expected to have enough guardians in the first round of training to occupy every one of our schools. Our goal is to find the right individuals, train them appropriately, background check them appropriately, and ensure that we're putting the right people into this position. This will take time to fill and time to grow.
Dr. Bernier, while you're there, I do want to ask you a question about the school year starting.
Yes.
So you guys did cancel, busing to after-school programs. A lot of parents are realizing this impact. A lot of after-school programs are full. Do you guys have a plan to address this problem? Is anything going to be done?
We have a business model that we need to complete, and that is getting our children to and from school on time. My responsibility is the education of a child. Last year, over 6,000 students per day were late. We can't have 6 students starting the school day every day late to school. Our priority with our proximity plan with elementary is to deliver our children at high school, elementary, and middle school on time, both in the morning and in the afternoon.
Now, parents have a responsibility too, okay? Parents, guardians, family members, loved ones, not only in just how they get to school, but most importantly, and I ask you to reach out and get this message out, it's sitting down and having the talk with your children, talking about, threats, fake or real, what those consequences are, talking about bullying, talking about, if you see something, you have an obligation to say something. Okay, so the parents are a very critical part of this team. So we want to get that message out. I know we always ask parents and we do everything we can, but it really is important for them to sit with their children and explain. You don't just hand your child a smartphone and they don't understand. If they press a button, that message goes, what the consequences are. So really, I ask parents to have those tough conversations. We're going back to school year.
How will the guardians' weapons be stored after school hours? How are you guys going to continue to track that?
Well, technically, a guardian is responsible for their weapon no matter what, like a law enforcement officer. When we go home, the weapon comes with us. We're responsible. We're responsible for that weapon every single place, and the guardian will be too. The technicalities will be worked out.
It is really hot out here today. Are there any, and lately, and as the school year starts, are there any plans in place to protect children from this record-breaking?
Dr. Bernier?
That's a great question, and I appreciate the opportunity to respond to it. We are in the process right now of putting together an advisory to our parents that we'll send out, asking them to really pay attention to current temperatures, to ensure that their students are appropriately attired, that they're wearing loose clothing. Conversation with our own health experts as well as health experts in the community. We'll be putting guidance out to our parents, including reminding our students to be well hydrated. They can bring water to school and to stay well hydrated during the day. Our schools will also remind students of that throughout the entire day. The good news is we are working very hard to ensure every one of our buses and every one of our school buildings are well air conditioned, but there will be some exposure and some risk, and we want to make sure our families are preparing for that aspect of their students' journey both to and from school.
We talk about the school threat enforcement team, and a lot of times what you see in media is the enforcement side, and I get that. Arrested for threats, this, that. But I want to tell you, the school threat enforcement team, during the summer months, we're watching or working with, either or, over 500 children. So if someone needs assistance, we're going to their parents, we're going to their house physically, making contact and talking about the incidents that have occurred, how that child is doing. We're checking up on them. If they need to work with a mental health counselor, we now have a couple of them in-house that works on the school threat enforcement team. So it's not just the enforcement side, okay? It's more so getting out there, education, awareness, working with the families that are in need and helping a child that's in need. And hopefully through that help, that child goes in the right direction. But again, the parents play such a significant role in that. I want to thank you for being here today. I'm very, very proud of this team. Again, thank you to the county commissioners for all the things that you do to fund all of this. Dr. Bernier, your vision, your team. Our school resource officers are phenomenal. I mean, to be #1 in the state, that is a huge, huge recognition, and I'm so proud of my family members. At the end of the day, it's all one family. Thanks for being here. Thank you.